Hi, I'm Phil Lipoff. We are on the air right now with breaking news from Los Angeles, where tensions are flaring during immigration protests there. You're seeing live pictures on your screen. These are protesters taking to the streets at this hour for a third consecutive day. Demonstrations opposing immigration and customs enforcement operations have recently escalated. You see the people in the streets. Members of the National Guard are currently staging at the federal complex in the downtown area. That includes the Metropolitan Detention Center, where confrontations have taken place. The U.S. Northern Command confirming troops are also staging in two other locations. In an unprecedented move, President Trump federalizing the National Guard, deploying 2,000 troops to Los Angeles over the objection of Governor Gavin Newsom. LAPD confirming that police arrested 11 people during last night's protests outside of the federal building. Governor Newsom, along with state lawmakers, calling the president's decision here excessive. Earlier today, House Speaker Mike Johnson, though, defending Trump's decision on this week, saying the president is, quote, doing exactly what he needs. ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman is live in Los Angeles. We also have ABC's Alex Stone, Alex Perche live at the White House, and John Cohen, ABC News contributor and former acting undersecretary for intelligence at DHS. Matt, I want to begin with you. What is the latest where you are? And as people are taking to the streets yet again to protest, how are they reacting when they're seeing now members of the National Guard on the ground?
With fury, Phil. So I just want to give you a sense of where we are right now. This is Alameda Street, a very significant avenue in downtown Los Angeles. There are probably a couple of hundred protesters here. Most of them seem to have become prepared with either some sort of mask, goggles, or an outright gas mask. You can see that people have all kinds of regalia, lots of national flags. So they're arrayed on one side. That large building behind us is the federal courthouse. And I'm just going to, I'm going to just take you, pardon me for one sec, past this line of protesters here and show you what they're up against here. This is a line of federal law enforcement agents and California National Guard. And you can see that right up there in that second floor, there is, I'm going to have Lenny, our cameraman, just spin to his left for one sec to show you the sniper position up there. You can obviously see the MRAPs right here. They are very much prepared here, and the entire first floor of this building, I guess this is the Sally Port, excuse me, the Sally Port of the federal building has been spray painted. So the reason I'm coughing and the reason you hear people around me coughing is because about half an hour ago, the federal law enforcement here and others deployed tear gas, pellets, flashbangs, trying to disperse the crowd. It didn't work. Everybody came back in, and they're sort of waiting for the next phase of this standoff. Unclear when that is, but we understand that at a certain point, Phil, they're going to have to order this crowd to be dispersed, and when they do that, it might get pretty hairy here. I'm going to turn around now to get around that. You mentioned this started Friday with ICE raids around the city. The LAPD tried to make it very clear that it was not involved in those raids, not involved in picking people up. What it was involved with was keeping the peace when protesters got in the way of federal law enforcement and got into this. I'm going to put this mask on now and got into the streets. No, I'm a good thing. Someone just offered me water. They're offering masks. Very friendly crowd here at this point. But again, they were hit pretty hard with tear gas and pepper pellets a few minutes ago. Helicopters in the air circling. That's been this way for, I guess, an hour now, and everybody's sort of waiting for the other shoe to drop at this point here, Phil. I'm going to back away from this area where these canisters went off. Excuse me.
Matt, if you can hear me, I'm wondering, what is this crowd doing? Is it just gathering there to protest? Has the crowd been moving? Is there any interaction between the crowd and the guard so far, besides the tear gas you mentioned about a half hour ago?
Right. So, and there's a significant amount of anger that specifically the California National Guard was deployed here. And Gavin Newsom has made it clear that even though he technically oversees the National Guard, it is a military institution with federal oversight. So when President Trump ordered the National Guard to deploy, that's what they had to do. So there is some interaction here, a lot of taunts being offered at or hurled at the National Guard and the federal law enforcement DHS officers. And I'd like to show you some of the signs. I'm just concerned that there's some profanity. So I'll show you this. It says abolish ICE, ICE out of LA, a lot of flags, Mexico, Guatemala, other countries here. People are angry and they're shocked that their fellow co-workers, people they've known for years who've lived here in LA, plucked out of restaurants, plucked out of places of work for no apparent reason. People who are not, they say, a danger to the public. So people are probably angrier right now here in LA than I've seen them in years, probably since the George Floyd protest, Phil.
All right, Matt, stay with us. We'll get back to you in just a few minutes. I want to get to Alex Brochet right now. Alex, I understand you have some new reporting. I'm wondering what lawmakers are saying about the Trump administration's actions here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Phil, well, I'll get to that in just a second, but we actually just heard from President Trump, who spoke to reporters on the tarmac before departing to Camp David. He was asked by our Rachel Scott if he's prepared to invoke the Insurrection Act. He said depends on whether or not there is an insurrection. And then Rachel pressed him on whether or not he thought what was happening, what was playing out in California is an insurrection. He said, no, but you have violent people and we're not going to let them get away with it. And look, I mean, the reaction here in Washington really kind of cuts along party lines. We've seen Republicans, notably Speaker Johnson earlier today telling Jon Karl on This Week that he believes that the president did exactly what needed to be done. And frankly, he's not concerned about any ramifications from this deploying of these 2,000 National Guard troops. But we've also heard from Democrats on the other side, notably Leader Jeffries, who echoed a lot of the words that we heard from California Governor Gavin Newsom, that the federal government is taking over this National Guard and deploying these 2,000 troops. He's saying it's not because that there's a shortage of law enforcement, it's because they want a spectacle. We've heard a number of Democrats say that they believe that this is an overreach and an overstep.
All right, Alex Brochet, thank you. Stand by. I want to